Hi and welcome to the Market Alert for Thursday the 24th of June 2021. So not only did we have Powell spooking the market last week when he was talking of increasing interest rates by 1/4% twice within the next 2.5 years, we had the Bullard bomb on Friday when he talked about tapering and increasing interest rates. On Monday, Powell comes out to try and calm the fears of what was said twice last week with both he and Bullard. And then blow me down, Fed's Kaplan sparks late day dump yesterday evening on rate hike and taper talk. And he apparently has said in an announcement that he would rather see tapering start sooner rather than later, and also would like to see a hike in interest rates in 2022. Well, so would Powell, but it's only 1/4 of 1%. So let's see the market's reaction to this for yesterday, and it's not that bad actually. The headline is a bit more sensational than the actual reaction, but you can see the market moving down there yesterday. Started to move to the upside, got to 62% from this high to this low projected back, but yeah, I mean, it's just sideways to higher at the moment, still above the 5-bar moving average, which is giving an early indication that the market is starting to move to the upside. But if we have a look in a bit more detail, let's have a look at the 30 minutes. No, we'll still go with the 5. It gives a better picture there of the volatility at the open. You can see there it was a very choppy session at the open for the Dow yesterday. He was waiting for the crude oil figures yesterday as well, which had a much larger draw of 7.5 million barrels, or minus 7.5 million barrels as well, which didn't help the market. In fact, it continued to move down and made a new low before finding a bit of support. But here's the Kaplan comment late on in the evening, just as they got towards the close, and then the market's been brought back as we've seen in the daily chart, and at the moment sitting around the DP area for the Dow. So let's have a look at the DAX. Different ball game yesterday. The market just moving lower and continuing all the way through the day, which is a rare thing to see these days with the DAX, because you can see all of the green bars there, and then we just had a couple of red bars. That was Friday. That was the Bullard bomb, and the market yesterday moving to the downside. If you look at the 5-minute chart of this, you will see this. As we kicked off with the previous day's high, this was a huge amount of selling. We then turned red on the MDI, and then this just continuing to move lower. We had a bit of consolidation here, sideways, and then the market breaking to the downside and heading towards the low here, but failing, managing to retrace. Again, if we just draw in from across there, we can see that the retracement there is about 78-89%, and then eventually coming down and retesting the low before the market then moves back to the DP. So again, you can see how these lines, pivot points, BRNs actually work. And then in the afternoon, it was just down the market sideways, waiting for the US flash, which came out at 2:45. And then once the crude oil figures came out, the market just following the Dow to the downside. I couldn't move to the upside for the love nor money yesterday. I had a bit of a move up there, retracement of 50 points, but after it just succumbed to the pressure in the US and then moved lower. So now prices are currently sitting, let me just squash this up a bit. We're still below the DP, and in the 5-minute below the 200 MA, so a bit of weakness around. The low could be under attack in the futures market this morning, and also in the start of the session before finding some support, but that will require the Dow to do this. So let's have a look a bit more closely to what happened in a 2-minute chart yesterday. Again, you see that selling, you can see how massive it was at the start. Then we turn red, and then the market moving lower. Tried to bring it back here, but the market failed, and then switched to the downside. So overnight again, there's the afternoon session where again you can see how the market was sitting and waiting for the news. Once the crude oil figures came out, and they were good for the market, but the market responded otherwise, moving to the downside. So you've got to trade what you see, not what you think will result from the economic news items. It's great to actually look at them, but you also need to see what the market's reaction is, as opposed to your own opinion. So yeah, again, we've got a bit of support there, which you can see is a bit of activity kicking in there. It is actually 7 a.m. Had a few issues this morning, so late recording. Don't normally see this live, but you can see them trying to bring the market up at the moment, which I'm surprised. I thought they may have just had a quick run down to the low, but maybe they're saving that for the 8 o'clock cash market, and the early traders are trying to support what they're seeing in the Dow at the moment. Let's have a quick look at the news while we're talking about it. Today we've got German Info Business Climate. That's out at 9 a.m. Then it's the UK. We've got a whole host of information here. Asset purchase, MPC purchase facility vote. Looks like they're all going to keep voting for QE by the looks of things, or just the one individual who doesn't want to. Then we've got the rate vote, which they're all in agreement. Don't increase interest rates, or probably don't even murmur it, but you never know. And there you can see the rate remaining at 0.1 is the projection. And then final GDP and unemployment claims for the US. Now in the metals markets, let's have a quick look at these. And if I can find the chart, this will be it. So we'll start off with silver. Yesterday the market managing to move to the upside and close above the 5-bar moving average, and sitting at that 200 MA as well, and at 62% retracement as well from the low, just off the screen to here, projected to the downside there. Now I've often been called a conspiracy theorist because of my views about the manipulation of the silver market, but as you will have seen during the last few years, if you followed, that there have been the odd occasion where JP Morgan has been fined 900 million, and there's some good news because on Tuesday, I meant to mention this in yesterday's market alert, ex-Deutsche Bank trader sentenced to prison for spoofing case. And this was in the precious metals market between 2007 and 2015. They're still playing catch up with those that are still doing it today. There was 2 traders involved, and one of them was a British citizen who worked for Deutsche Bank. And they were sentenced on Monday by the Northern District of Illinois. And then there's another trader here, Cedric Chanu, another Deutsche Bank trader. The pair faced a maximum of 30 years in jail, but they actually got 1 year and 1 day, which is slightly odd. So there is some sort of justice, I suppose. And speaking of silver, expect a bit of volatility. Received this daily email from Bixweir, who's been exposing the manipulation for years. And the important bit here is that silver open interest for July, these are futures contracts that are not closed out, is off the charts, with the June contract expiring in 4 days. That takes us to Tuesday, 1 day after the BASAL agreement. Currently there is an open interest close to 300 million ounces. They could slam, well, basically what he's saying, they could slam the price down by Tuesday. Next Tuesday we may see the biggest silver delivery month in history if they don't, because they'll need to get out of these positions unless they want to roll over. So if you see a bit of volatility in the silver market today, tomorrow, on Monday with Basel 3, Tuesday is the delivery of the July contract. After that, things settle down. But just so you've got that in the background as well. So this is why you're seeing silver trading in this sideways move at the moment. But we could see a spike down and then brought back. So just as long as you're aware of this, I haven't got any lines on this chart, and it makes it very difficult to actually see. So let me just put some on there. I don't like a chart without some sort of visual line, so I can see where the next support and resistance is, particularly in the big round numbers. So there we go. So you can see now we've got the 2750. Makes it a lot clearer, doesn't it? You can see where the support is. So I'll probably still have a look to try and buy below this if we do get a slam to the downside, and pick up another position, because I've already got 6 or 7 in this market, ready for the sort of seasonal July rally in these markets. The dollar index is back online after yesterday's it was missing, and you can see at the moment they're also trying to bring this back to the upside as well. Yeah, look for this to fail. I don't think I can draw on this because it's a live chart and it may make a new low. So I'm going to have to use the low of the previous bar, which is not quite accurate, but it'll give a pretty good indication. So anywhere on the upside failing in the 89 area, 78, to then move back would also be an interesting setup as well. So we've had them move up on the Three Musketeers comments, and now we could hopefully see the market fail on the upside as the market fades the trade and then moves to the downside there. Just a quick look at the interior of silver, though. Again, you can see how quiet it is, even in the 5 minutes, really quiet. And gold also sat in this sideways move, sitting at 89, which is a good area to actually try and bounce off if prices do find support there. If not, they'll be slammed also. But one thing you can do here, because you've got this low to this high, you could put in these numbers here as well. Let me just pull this off the bottom and space it out a bit so that you can see, and I'll give you the figure for where you'd expect to find support in the silver. So we've got the 89 that we've already got drawn in from across here in the chart, and then from up and back on the short term we have these here as well. So let me just see if I can show you these. There you go. So now you can actually see them. So those are the important areas for the downside in gold. Okay, I think that covers everything this morning. Like I say, we'll just wait and see what happens in the futures market with regards to the DAX. There you can see they're actually buying it at the moment. The futures traders are in, so they're trying to move it up towards the DP, but not a lot happening there, is there? So waiting to see what the pajama traders are going to do in the US by the looks of things. Yeah, we'll see. Cash market open in just under an hour. Okay, that's it for this one. If there is anything else of note, I will let you know. But as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.